Welcome everyone to another episode of Fit Fam. And today we're going to do a deep dive into not just the importance of muscle, but the type of muscle you need to have.
Let's do it.
Miss Natural Olympia Hilary.
And Doug, the Formulator.
We're excited to be here and just some great holiday season things going on with family and fun and OHS and hot rods and all kinds of stuff.
You like how he threw in the hot rods part of that? Yeah. Crazy guy.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to chat about the importance of keeping muscle as you age, but some crazy cool research has come out about the type of muscle, and we'll get into it, but the importance of it as we get a little bit older in years.
So as we start to age, even in your 30s, which
true.
You're double aged that.
Double matured that, yes.
Okay, sorry. Motor neurons in our muscles begin to die. They are the nerves that control our fast twitch muscle,
What's
our fast
twitch?
twitch fibers.
What's that?
So it's like your strength, your speed,
Yeah.
you know, the explosiveness.
Explosiveness.
Right? Okay. So the body does not like to lose muscle, right?
Correct.
Correct. So what does it do? It attempts a mission, right? Explain the mission it attempts.
Well, your body is either anabolic or catabolic, and as we age, it goes more catabolic, goes more catabolizing your muscle. And so it was understood that as we age, we are losing muscle. And the medical industry loves to put terms on things, conditions, because then they can, come up with drugs to try to treat it and try to say no one else can help with it. And so they came up with a condition called sarcopenia, which is just basically age-related muscle loss.
Right.
But the way they teach it is that as you age, you lose muscle.
Sorry.
No matter what.
You lose muscle.
Yeah.
No matter what. Nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do except maybe take this drug or something to help, ease the pain and all of that. So the truth of the matter is that that's not true. That what changes and makes us lose muscle is a lifestyle change. And it's true we have to train differently as we get old, but it's because we don't understand the two types of muscle and what we can do to help both of them and retain the one that we lose the most.
Okay. So what happens as we start to lose the slow twitch or the fast twitch muscle? It tries to convert. Like, how does that go on?
Okay, so basically, because we are not strength training and as active as we get older, and our body starts to, send the efforts, cellular efforts to go somewhere else besides retaining muscle, we lose muscle. So just think of losing muscle, okay? When there's two types of muscle, and it's fast twitch and slow twitch, or type 1 and type 2. So slow twitch is, like you said, just kind of strong, steady Eddie.
It's like that youth explosiveness. We all have been in the gym with youth.
That's type 2. Type 1 is a steady, right?
Okay,
like endurance.
Right.
And like I think we mentioned before that when we went to Russia with the Olympic teams, it was really interesting that they would do muscle biopsies on kids, 3-4-year-olds, to find out did they have more of the fast twitch or slow twitch.
Okay, that was something
type 2.
I was going to say is naturally, DNA wise, you have more slow twitch or more fast twitch muscle, correct?
Correct. And you can override that genetic code, your epigenetics. So if you have someone with slow twitch that's maybe a better athlete at endurance, but all they do is jump, they can convert, right? But you naturally do have, and so they would take and put the children in the right sport based on, right, the type of muscle fiber that they had more of. But so type 1 is more the endurance muscle, and type 2 is the fast
youth,
twitch,
crazy explosiveness,
vertical jump,
sprinters,
explosive, that type thing. And so we lose, as we age, we've discovered that we lose more of the fast twitch at a rate 2-to-1. So let's say we lose 2 pounds or 3 pounds of muscle. Well, 2 of those 3 pounds is going to be fast twitch. So that's why as we age, pretty much no matter what. Our vertical jump goes down, our speed goes down. Why as you get older, your risk of dying from hip fractures and that from falling go up because you lose your balance.
Mm-hmm.
You lose that quick, oh, I got to step here to keep myself from falling situation. And I know we've talked about that, but what we're doing today is we're going to talk about the research that shows that if you work to build muscle back, right, or to keep your muscle, that's not enough.
No, it's not enough. The type of training that we're doing is what needs to happen, correct?
Correct. And the new research really gives us some understanding. So I'll explain the new research and have you kind of go into the concept more of what we need to do. But the research showed this is that if you lose muscle, and let's say that you lose a pound of fast twitch and a pound of slow twitch. Okay, so let's say we've lost a pound of each, and we build back 2 pounds of muscle. So those 2 pounds that were lost, we build 2 pounds back because we're strength training. Okay, so now we're even. But what happens is it's easier for the body to add back the slow twitch muscle. It actually fills in with muscle, and it's that slow twitch muscle unless you force it to actually make fast twitch because it takes more work. It takes more motor neurons firing, and so the body has to create these new motor neurons that have to be more active, and it takes more work. And so unless you're telling the body we're jumping and we're moving and we're sprinting and we're doing that,
it will build back more muscle. But if you don't force it to do the fast twitch, it's going to go to the slow twitch muscle because it's an easier build.
That's it. And so people are like, hey, I'm excited because I'm building muscle as I age. I'm not losing it. I'm doing the work. I'm going to the gym at least 3 times a week. True, but you still could be increasing your risk of an early death and falls and things like that because you're not replacing that muscle. You're with the fast twitch. You're losing fast twitch and you're replacing it with slow twitch.
Okay, so what's really empowering here is knowing that the body can rebuild fast twitch muscle fibers, and all it needs is some direction. Okay, so how we can stop that neuro-driven fiber conversion where it's only building, the slow twitch, which is important. We need the slow twitch muscles, right? But we really want to keep and hold on to and build more of those fast twitch as we get older. So that means heavy strength training in the gym, explosive reps, right? Short, powerful movements.
Yeah, and I think a great thing, we were just doing it today in our workout. Instead of getting into, for those of you that aren't heavy into working out, and we'll do all kinds of techniques because we just love it. And you're like, hey, I don't want to learn all this crazy stuff and all these different techniques. Just what is the one technique I can use that would help me the most to build my fast twitch and keep my slow twitch strong and all of that. And what it is this is what we're doing today is on the positive movement. So like a bench press, the push, right? You go pretty much as fast as you can. Like you do an explosive movement. We're not throwing the weight, but explosive movement. And then
explosive but controlled.
Explosive, and then on the way back,
slow.
Like count to 3 or 4, right? So explosive, 1, 2, 3. Explosive, and do that with any exercise. The hard part of the exercise, the weight bearing part, do explosively with, like you said, good form.
Yeah.
And just doing that in the gym with the workout will ensure that your body is creating the neuron activity to make fast twitch. And so that's one thing.
Yeah, so that's one way you can do it. Also, sprinters have it down. Sprinters understand this like to the most degree, right? So putting yourself in high intensity interval training periods is really ideal for fast twitch muscles. So that means, if you're doing your workout on the treadmill, trying to sprint and then bring your heart rate down, and then sprint and bring your heart rate down over and over and over again.
And the latest research shows that if you will sprint 9 times for 20 seconds, so 9 times for 20 seconds, in a day, within a workout, you don't have to do it like immediately, one right after another and hardly have any rest, but just 9 sprints for 20 seconds a day, that in itself will help you retain your fast twitch muscle, and it boosts your growth hormone over 400%.
We like that.
That's
and
huge.
Keep this in mind because when you're new to interval training, man, you're like, what the heck is this? And you can create intensity and interval training with some It doesn't have to just be speed. It can be incline. We're trying to put excessive stress on the muscles and make them, fire. And so remembering that, and then also remembering that you will build up your intensity as you go, right?
That's it.
Your sprint, if you're just starting, is going to look a lot different than your sprint does 3, 6, 9, 12 months from now.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And that's really good. And one other thing that happens when we lose muscle as we age is our mitochondria aren't as effective at making energy. And some of the best analogies lately is that your mitochondria, and these are the powerhouses in your body that make ATP, your body will make more of them if you need more energy. And so you want the body to make a bunch of mitochondria, and you want those mitochondria to be strong. You don't want to be like a wet paper sack where they're leaking electrons, because then they can't make ATP. They need those electrons. And strength training actually helps keep those mitochondria
love that.
tissues strong, keeps the electrons in them so they can make that ATP. And what that does for you is it helps your cognitive function. It lowers your risk of Alzheimer's, of Parkinson's, of any of those types of conditions. We're realizing now that there's two factors with those. One is what they're calling type 3 diabetes. It's a blood sugar issue, and the other is mitochondria. And you help with both of those with strength training. We're just talking to a client today whose blood pressure had gone back up a teeny bit, right? And he knew right away, because he hasn't been as consistent with the exercise, that the exercise actually helps with that.
Yeah. So jumping back into the whole sprint thing, can you tell us what the sprinting does?
You want me to?
Yeah.
So what the sprinting does is the simple answer is it keeps the fast twitch muscles and neurons alive. And it goes back to the old adage, if you don't use it, you lose it. And the body is very efficient. If you don't tell the body you're going to do sprinting and, do explosive movements, it'll take away the nerves that take more energy to do that. And it'll just supply the motor neurons for the slow twitch, like we talked about. So that's one factor.
Yeah,
with that.
it's like a recruitment. The sprinting, it just recruits more.
There you go.
More
neurons and
neurons.
quickly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Love that. Okay, so a lot of people, to try to help with fast twitch or muscle and all the things, do other things like little supplements, different hacks that they've found, detoxes, ice baths. Those are great, right?
Those are great. And I think it is important to understand that you're not building the muscle in the gym, you're tearing it. And
it's always such a good reminder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But what you are building in the gym is the electrical response to the nerves. So you are building those. You're not tearing those down. You're saying, hey, we need more fire. We need, your nerves need to work better, and the motor neurons need to work better. You're actually building those in the gym. So you need to be doing it as you're tearing the muscle down. And so now we need recovery. Recovery is when growth happens. Recovery is when the body can decide to add muscle and what type of muscle. And since the motor neurons are firing, saying, hey, yeah, we're active. We need that fast twitch stuff. If you give the body the right nutrients, it will make the fast twitch muscle. But if the nutrients are not present, you actually are going to cause more damage, because the body's like, oh, we don't have enough to make any muscle. We're just going to actually degrade and lose more. So the nutrients are everything.
Nutrients are everything. So heavy intentional strength training is vital, and explosive fast motor unit recruitment like sprinting is essential. I haven't seen you sprint in a while.
Please, because you're not out there as much as me.
That's like saying I'm in the office more than you, which is funny.
Yeah, we're jumping back on the sprinting.
Okay, good. I love it.
New research always gets me going.
New research always gets you going. So let's talk about where Muscle RX comes in when we're talking about nutrients.
Yeah. So, what was really great is even back in the 90s, there was deep research, because actually back when, you were saying you were really watching bodybuilding, growing up with the stuff, that the truth is there was a movement then of health and fitness that, like, I've never seen before. This last year with RFK has been great. I think it's the best, closest we've got. But there was a movement, and so there was tons of research being done. And we had universities, Arizona State University was like begging, what can we do? Give us some research studies. And we're like, this is great because it usually costs so much. And so we did this really deep research dive into exactly what does the muscle call on extra when it's been in stress, right? And the stress usually is exercise, but it could be normal stress too. Like when it's been stressed, what does the muscle call on? And it called on mainly 5 nutrients that it's like your body needs more of, or it needs to have sufficient amounts of in order to make additional muscle, to strengthen muscle, to keep you from going catabolic. And the first one is, it was new back then, but it's not new now, creatine.
It's definitely not new now.
Yeah, it's like so cool to me that most people now have heard of creatine, and not even 5, 6 years ago, you still had to be in somewhat the fitness world.
So, are we talking about creatine, glutamine, and then your branch chains? Are those?
So glutamine, creatine number 1, glutamine, which is an amino acid, it's the main one for recovery.
Right.
Right? For just recovery, glutamine is number 1. Creatine is more of helping create more ATP and energy so you can strength train longer. And then the branch chain amino acids, that's the third. The fourth is magnesium.
Magnesium, okay.
And magnesium is a huge factor that I like that people are starting to hear more about magnesium. In fact, today on magnesium, just as a little side bit, there's an interesting study that's actually blaming Gatorade for a lot of the heat stroke deaths, instead of actually Gatorade taking responsibility, saying, hey, we actually help stop that, like hydrate the body. And what the argument was, and I'm not going here or there against Gatorade, I'm just telling you what they're saying, is they're saying, look, if you have electrolytes and sodium, potassium, and your chloride, and you don't have enough magnesium, then what you're doing is you're putting the body, when it heats up, magnesium is the cooler. It's the mineral, it's the cooling mineral.
Wow.
And they're saying that it's putting people in this position to more easily have heat stroke because there's not magnesium really into the Gatorade, and that they knew this. And so, not that they were actively trying to hurt people, but they knew that they should have it in there. And so magnesium is very important to cool the muscle in order for it to be able to recuperate. Now that's cool is a very non-chemical word for what magnesium does, but it's kind of a neat way to think about it, is it cools the flame and it helps to allow it to recover. So that's the fourth. And the other is anything that helps with blood sugar. And so we like chromium, anything like that. And so we found out in the research we had to add in something to help with the blood sugar factor, to make sure the body will utilize blood sugar properly after a workout. And so that's the 5.
I will always be the biggest proponent of Muscle RX. It has been such a game changer, right?
Yeah.
And it contains all of those ingredients. There's been times in my competitive career with bodybuilding where I know my body so well, and I feel things so directly inside my body, when your body fat gets to a certain level, that there were times when I would take Muscle RX and I would tell you, I literally feel it working. It's magic. So anyways, I do love Muscle RX.
And I think that I really want to have this discussion today not be like, oh, it's a Muscle RX ad. Here's what the ad is for. Strength training, doing it right, doing the fast on the positive, slower on the negative, doing sprinting and getting back into it. And then make sure that you take your creatines, your branched chain amino acids, your glutamine, your magnesium, and things for blood sugar like chromium or berberine, something like that. However you get it, right? However you get it. It's just that's the research we did at Arizona State.
Well,
and we're like,
you can
boom.
do it however you want to, but Muscle RX is the best way.
That's it.
Anyways, and here's the thing, the truest thing about this. It's great to look fit. But this isn't about looking a certain way. Nothing feels better than feeling fit, right? And being able to act or to call on muscles and then be there for us, right? Nothing is better than that. And so, this is about preserving those fibers that keep you powerful, capable, and young.
That's a great way to put it. And there's something to be said for a little. I really got out of what you said there that holds true in any area of life. And that is to have more in the tank than you need, knowing it's there.
Yeah.
So think about it from every level, like spirituality. It's good to be at a level so much at so high of a level in your own spirituality that you don't always necessarily have to use it, but if it's called upon, you know that you're going to have that fortitude, right? Um, Financially, to have, the needs that if needs to you when it
It's a
comes to
great
rainy
example.
day
Yeah.
that it's there, and guys, it's innate in them a lot of times more than women because of the protector provider thing, and I think it's a lot of things reason guys like things like hot rods and things like that is like, oh, because it's there, whether they use it or not. And it's an innate in any area of life. And I think we overlook that with our health many times. That you want in the tank the ability to sprint, to be strong, to do whatever. Even if you don't necessarily called upon to use it, it helps mentally to be able to enjoy life at a greater level, and to be present and just have that feeling like
Yeah.
you're capable.
It's funny. Just a beautiful example of that is when you see somebody that's on a plane and they're trying to put their carry-on up high, and I've always loved that you can hop up at any time, no matter how heavy the stinking carry-on is, and lift it above your head and put it in for somebody. And it's those moments. It's those moments where you have the ability to help
Whoever, whatever.
whoever.
Yeah. And so the moral of the story today is that we do need to do whatever we can to maintain our muscle and to build our muscle, but you also need to make sure you're building the right type, and your body will take the easy route unless you tell it to take the route that's needed, the one with a little more resistance, but it's great for you, and you will build up those habits just the same as the other. And it's great to be able to understand the fast twitch muscle, type 2 muscle, is something that can be retained and you can develop it throughout your life, even as you get older, unlike what people say.
What I heard was Doug is committing right now to start sprinting again in the gym. That's
That's what you heard?
that's what I heard.
You heard
You
right.
heard it here. Wow, yay. Okay.
Okay, deal.
Deal. Love it.
Everyone, enjoy this beautiful season. It's a great time to be present. It's a great time to think about being selfless and not selfish, which is just a great trait, and we love that, and everyone in our life. So thank you for watching,
Yeah.
and please, like, click the bell so you can get notified of future podcasts. And as always,
you like that?
I'd like that. Miss Natural Olympia Hilary.
And Doug the Formulator. See you later.